You know, when you place a tenant into a rental property, one of the things you want to make sure you don't do is just forget about it. It's very important to ensure that you're inspecting that property periodically to look for signs of negligence, neglect, things like that. So the question comes up, well, how often should I be looking into my property, and what really should I be looking for? Well, here's a couple things to look for when you do occupied tenant inspections of your property. Number one, you're looking for evidence of unauthorized pets. So if the lease reads no pets, you want to be looking for things like the dog bowl inside of the pantry around the corner that has some dog food in it. You want to be looking for things that may show they may have brought a pet into the property. Now, if they have a pet into the property, that leads to another aspect of how you handle that lease violation issue, but that's something you definitely want to be looking for on every property inspection that's done on the property. The second thing you want to look for is evidence of any illegal activity. You know, the worst thing we had happen, I guess this wasn't the worst, but it was kind of surprising, is we have inspections done, and I had the inspector that we have doing our inspectors come back to our office. He said, Mark, I've got kind of a strange one here. I was doing the inspection. It was two young guys in their late 20s, and everything's going great. Single family house, property looks beautiful. I get down to the basement, and the basement was unfinished, but it had kind of a partitioned area off to the side with a door on it. And he said, I tried the door, and the door was locked. And I said to the tenant, well, I need to get into this area to inspect as well. The tenant said, well, gosh, he said, I just don't have a key to that unit. I don't have a key to inside of that storage area. And our inspector said, well, I do need to get in there. The tenant said, well, my roommate has the key. Can't we just forgo that room? No, I'm sorry. I'm going to need to get into this area to inspect it. And then the tenant says this, I'll tell you what, I'll pay you $1,000 not to go in that room. Now, what do you think the tenant had in that room? Well, we're in Colorado, so you can guess it. They were growing marijuana in that room. So we came back to the property later when they found the key, did the inspection. Now, at that point in time, the room was cleared out, but suddenly there was a big tarp in the garage with a lot of green leaves poking out from underneath it. So we had to move that tenant out of the property. But those are the types of things we're looking for. That's a reason to do inspections, and those are the types of things you're looking for on inspections as well. Now, number three, this isn't as much tenant related as it's you as the property owner or the property manager looking for deferred maintenance. Is there mold starting to grow inside of the shower that you want to take care of before it becomes a health issue? Are there things that you have not repaired as the landlord that now is the time to do so? So look for those deferred maintenance items. And then number four, you want to look for significant tenant neglect issues. If the tenant is really hard on your property and they're causing damage, now is the time to be aware of that and to take the appropriate action to either have them make that repair or maybe even move them out of the property if it's a significant tenant neglect issue. Now, hopefully, you as the landlord did your due diligence on the front end and you moved somebody into the property that's taking care of the property. So 9 times out of 10, probably 98% of the time we do property inspections, they're fine. We're not finding these types of things. But the reason we don't find them during inspections is because we're doing a good job on the front end of ensuring we're bringing quality residents into the property. We're also reminding applicants at the application process time that, hey, Mr. Tenant, Mr. Applicant, we will be into your property to inspect. So that's going to remind those bad tenants who may be wanting to do bad things in your property, they probably want to look elsewhere to rent a property because we're going to be inside on a regular basis looking for those things. A couple things you want to remind your tenant of during these inspections as well. Number one, this is a great time for either you as the landlord to change the furnace filter or remind the tenant to do so. Secondly, remind them to change their CO and smoke detectors. Did you know Colorado state law requires the landlord to change the batteries out if requested by the tenant? So now's the opportunity to do that. And it also helps you keep your relationship strong. It's good for the tenant to know that we have a very positive relationship with them and we're going to be inside of their property periodically for inspections. And most tenants are fine with that as long as it's not too often, which leads us to that aspect of, well, how often should I be in there? We've had some prospective clients as landlords say to us, well, I want inspections done every month. That can be an infringement upon the tenant's legal right to quiet enjoyment. So we don't want to be in there every single month unless we see something to cause us to come back on a follow-up inspection. If you've done your due diligence on the front end, put the tenant in the property, what we recommend doing is an initial interior inspection of the property approximately 3 to 4 months after the initial start time of the lease. That gives the tenant the time to move in, get set up, get comfortable, get going, and it gives us things to look for then upon that first initial inspection. So at a minimum, we recommend doing 1 time per year in the middle of the lease term, annual inspections on the property. We will go up to once a quarter if requested, but beyond that, there really needs to be a reason for it as far as how often you're in the inspection process. But this is just a great thing to be doing on a regular basis for all of your properties. If you've got questions on how to conduct these inspections, give our office a call. We'd be happy to give you more information.